Welcome to Math Challenge Problems. This problem is a good example of applying different concepts in one problem solution. Solve the system. Logarithm of x to the base 2 plus logarithm of y to the base 4 plus logarithm of z to the base 4 equals 2. Logarithm of x to the base 9 plus logarithm of y to the base 3 plus logarithm of z to the base 9 equals 2. Logarithm of x to the base 16 plus logarithm of y to the base 16 plus logarithm of z to the base 4 equals 2. Before we give the answer, please subscribe for more math challenge problems and math contest drills for Filipino kids videos. Okay, let us solve this problem. Solve the system logarithm of x to the base 2 plus logarithm of y to the base 4 plus logarithm of z to the base 4 equals 2. Logarithm of x to the base 9 plus logarithm of y to the base 3 plus logarithm of z to the base 9 equals 2. Logarithm of x to the base 16 plus logarithm of y to the base 16 plus logarithm of z to the base 4 equals 2. Notice that in the first equation, we have two logarithmic expression to the base 4 and one that is to the base 2. In the second equation, we have two logarithmic expression to the base 9 and one to the base 3. Same thing in the third equation, we have two logarithmic expressions to the base 16 and one to the base 4. We know that it is much easier to work with sum of logarithmic expression when they are of the same basis. So let us start this problem by using the change of base formula. We need to change the base of that logarithmic expression in each of this equation to a base the same with the others. So for the first equation, let us have logarithm of x to the base 4. By change of base formula, we will have logarithm of x to base 2 over logarithm of 4 to the base 2. We use base 2 so that we can have something to replace logarithm of x to the base 2 in the first equation. Okay, let us proceed. So in here, logarithm of 4 to the base 2 is equal to 2 by rules of logarithm. So multiplying both sides by 2, we get 2 times the logarithm of x to the base 4 equals logarithm of x to the base 2. And then again, by rules of logarithm, a logarithmic expression multiplied by a constant. Therefore, we have logarithm of x to the base 2 is equal to logarithm of x squared to the base 4. Next, let us go to the second equation. We need to change the base 3 in the second term to base 9. So we let logarithm of y to the base 9 equals logarithm of y to the base 3 over logarithm of 9 to the base 3. Again, we use base 3 so that we can replace the second term in the second equation. Next, logarithm of 9 to the base 3. We know that 9 is 3 squared. So logarithm of 9 to the base 3 is equal to 2 again. Multiply both sides of this equation by 2, we will have 2 times logarithm of y to the base 9 equals logarithm of y to the base 3. And this is what we are trying to replace with. So logarithm of y to the base 3 is equal to logarithm of y squared to the base 9, using again the rule of logarithm. Next, in equation number 3, we need to change this term with base 4. So we're going to use logarithm of z to the base 16 is equal to logarithm of z to the base 4 over logarithm of 16 to the base 4. Same thing as the first two. 16 is 4 squared, so the denominator is equal to 2. Multiply both sides by 2, we will get 2 times logarithm of z base 16 equals logarithm of z to the base 4. So we now have something to replace logarithm of z to the base 4 with, and by rule of logarithm, we have logarithm of z to the base 4. This becomes logarithm of z squared to the base 16. Now we can go back to our original system and substitute the values to the terms in the original system of equation. We have logarithm of x to the base 2 be replaced with logarithm of x squared to the base 4 in first equation. Logarithm of y to the base 3 replaced with logarithm of y squared base 9 in second equation. And in the third equation, logarithm of z to the base 4 is now substituted by logarithm of z squared base 16. Now we have sums of logarithmic expression under the same base, so we can use the rule of logarithm or the law of logarithm. Then we will have logarithm base 4 of x squared yz equals 2 in the first equation. Next, logarithm of xy squared z to the base 9 equals 2 for the second equation. Next, logarithm of xyz squared to the base 16 equals 2 for the third equation. And now from logarithmic expression, each of these three equations we can change or translate into exponential equation. So for the first equation, we will have x squared yz equals 4 squared. And then the second equation becomes xy squared z equals 9 squared. And then the third equation becomes xyz squared equals 16 squared. Next, let us multiply the three equations term-wise. So we will get x to the fourth, that's x squared, x times x, x to the fourth. Y to the fourth, that's y times y squared times y. Z to the fourth, that is z times z times z squared. And then, since all the expressions in the left-hand side are exponential expressions raised to the fourth power, we can rewrite the product of those terms in the right-hand side as powers of 4 also. 4 squared is 16, that is 2 raised to the fourth power. 9 squared is 81, that is a power of 3 to the fourth power. 16 squared is 256, that is a power of 4, 4 raised to the fourth power. So getting the fourth root of both sides in this resulting equation, we get xyz is equal to positive negative 24, as we have even root when we get the fourth root of both sides, so we get positive negative 24. Now it's time to get the value for each variable. Solving for x, we use x squared yz all over xyz equals 16, that is from 4 squared, over 24. And x is equal to yz cancels, x squared over x is x, therefore x is equal to 2/3. Now, for the value of x, we get only the positive value, as the negative value for x is not included in the domain for a logarithmic function. Solving for y, we have xy squared z over xyz equals 81. That is from 9 squared over 24. Simplifying this, y equals 27 over 8. And then solving for z, that is xyz squared over xyz equals 256 over 24. Simplifying, we have z equals 32 over 3. That is all. Thank you. Please subscribe for more math challenge problems and math contest drills for Filipino kids videos.